Hello everyone, welcome to British Columbia, the language school. Students, as the board exams are approaching, today we are going to do a quick but very effective revision of Julius Caesar, focusing only on Act 3, 4, and 5, which are prescribed in your ICSE syllabus. Remember, these three acts are extremely important because Act 3 is the turning point of the play, Act 4 shows inner conflict and guilt, and Act 5 completes the tragedy of Brutus. So listen carefully, focus on themes, character changes, and exam angle. Let us begin with Act 3, which is the turning point of the play. And it is also the most crucial act of the play because this is the act where we see Caesar is assassinated. So the central idea of this act is idealism gives way to chaos. You know about Brutus, we are talking about Brutus here. He was too idealistic, no practical wisdom, and this is how he got manipulated by Cassius and his other conspirators, and finally joined their team and brought chaos to Rome. Now, the first important point is assassination of Caesar. Yes, this happens in scene 1 of, let me erase it. Sorry. So it happens in the first scene of Act 3. Caesar ignores warnings, soothsayer's warning, and then Artemidorus' letter. Killed by conspirators led by Brutus. Brutus acts for public good, not personal hatred. The important line here is at due brute, then falls Caesar. Now, let us do a little analysis and a quick analysis. Caesar ignores all warnings, right? He ignores the warning by Soothsayer where he says, beware of Ides of March, but he does not focus on that. He also ignores Artemidorus later and also ignores the dream, the nightmares told by California. Even he did not listen to his own wife. So this shows that Caesar was overconfident and too full of himself. And this gave conspirators a chance, and finally the conspirators led by Brutus stab Caesar. So when Caesar sees Brutus among them all, he says the famous line, et tu brute, then falls Caesar. This is very, very important line because this line shows when Caesar finally sees Brutus making the last attempt, stabbing him in the very last final stab made by Brutus. And when Caesar sees him and he knew that Brutus was his best friend, he could not believe his eyes, and finally he says, et tu brute. Very emotional line. So this shows betrayal, emotional shock which Caesar got to see his friend, and collapse of Caesar's trust. Then falls Caesar. Now finally Caesar believed that okay, then he should not live no more. He realizes that he should live no more because he has got betrayal from his very best friend, very close friend. So what is the exam significance of this act? That Brutus kills Caesar not out of hatred, but because he believes it is for the good of Rome. He's too idealistic. The tragic flaw of Brutus is that he is too idealistic, having no practical wisdom, does not understand the personal cause of the conspirators and joins them. Now, let us move on to the second scene. Brutus versus Antony. This is yet another very, very important. Students, I would ask you to please go through this scene very carefully because here you will get most of the questions, and this is most scoring scene also because you can get a compare and contrast question, the comparison of the two speeches made by Brutus and Antony. So let us come to the speech of Brutus. You know what happens? Mark Antony, who was also present at the time Caesar was murdered, he was also present in the Senate house. He could not do anything, but he, silently he decided that he will take revenge upon the conspirators for his friend's murder. So at that time he could not do anything, but later on he requested the conspirators to allow him to give his speech on Caesar's funeral. So conspirators allowed him. Now let's see the difference between the two speeches. Brutus, who was less practical, who was too idealistic, thought that he had done a great job. He had liberated the country, liberty, and all the words they had spoken. Now, what does he says in his speech? His speech is very logical. Means he made a very rational approach, very logical approach, and very calm, and in a very prose style, very simple, very direct, that appeals to your reason, not emotions, and fails to move emotions. Yes, he fails to move the crowd to believe his words or to justify his words. Then, you know what happens? He says that he loved Caesar, but loved Rome more. So the problem is that Brutus underestimates the crowd and leaves the stage too early. And then it gives way to Antony. And when Antony comes, his speech is very powerful. He gives a very emotional, rhetorical, and very poetic. You remember, you must have gone through the text. So his speech is very rhetorical, poetic, and emotional. He uses irony by many a times he calls honorable men. So this is very ironical. He repeats this phrase sarcastically. And then, not just this, he also shows the wounds of Caesar to emotionally move the crowd and also reads his will. So, the result, what is the end result of the two speeches? Crowd turns against the conspirators, and finally, the conspirators have to flee from that scene. It turns violent, mob turns violent, rebels against the conspirators, and they have to flee from there. The important lines made the important line of speech of Mark Antony is friends, Romans, countrymen, lend me your ear. This is also very important line. You can quote it in your answers. You see the exam significance of this scene, this act. It is a turning point of the play, power of rhetoric, Brutus' tragic error. Yes, it talks about the tragic flaw of Brutus. He could not understand the situation, what he had to do, does not understand, right? And Antony's rise to power. And it is this act where we see chaos begins in Rome. Now let us move on to Act 4, which shows the conflict, guilt, and tension. See, internal conflict, moral strain, guilt, and tension in the heart, in the mind of conspirators. Central idea of this act is that unity breaks down, guilt surfaces. Somewhere there, the conspirators are breaking down, the unity is breaking down, there's a falling apart, they're falling out with each other, and guilt is consuming the conspirators somewhere. Now, let us move on to first important point, Antony, Octavius, and Lepidus. This trio forms the second triumvirate after Julius Caesar, who made the first triumvirate with Pompey, and the third name I did not remember now. Well, so this is the second triumvirate they formed, and they declared a kind of party they had created. Now, what do we see here is that Antony seems to be very cold, ruthless, and very political. And this is the act where we see power politics replacing ideals. Yes, somewhere Antony has also become politically very clever, and somewhere politics has replaced idealism. It is about Brutus, who also thinks about power, who also want to achieve power. Now let us come to third scene of fourth act, which is also yet another very important scene, because here we see Brutus and Cassius falling out with each other. Why? Because of accusation of corruption. Brutus accuses Cassius of corruption. Cassius feels, he feels insulted and emotionally broken. Emotional release, reconciliation restores bond, shows human weakness, deepens tragic tone. So, what happens in this scene? That Brutus, when he accused Cassius of corruption, Cassius feels very much insulted, emotionally broken. So, this gives rise to their quarrel. But it does not last long. They reconcile, restore their bond, and somewhere it shows it shows a human weakness, and also it shows the deep friendship they had. And tragedy somewhere seems to be very deeply taking deep roots in the play. Not just this, death of Portia is another important event that takes place in this act only. Portia, wife of Brutus, swallows hot coals. Her death is symbolic to private suffering, emotional cost of politics. Then the very, very important event happens in this scene only, that is ghost of Caesar. And Caesar, Julius Caesar, who's died, but his ghost appears to Brutus and is visible to Brutus alone. We already know that Brutus was consumed by guilt, remorse, and he was emotionally very much strained, and this gives rise to the hallucinations and all, and he sees Caesar's ghost. So the ghost of Caesar is symbolic to his own guilt and his inevitable doom. Yes, his doom is almost waiting for him. It is very soon approaching him. The important line made by ghost of Caesar is that thou shalt see me at Philippi. See, Caesar's ghost appears and tells Brutus that you will see me at Philippi. So this line foreshadows a battle, that somewhere a battle would be fought and Brutus will meet Caesar there. That means a kind of tragic end for Brutus. So this line highlights foreshadowing. Now we have finally come to the very, very important yet very important last act, that is where we see the complete tragedy of Brutus and restoration of order. See, the central idea of this act is idealism fails, honor survives. Yes, idealism has completely failed. Brutus could not, overcome the guilt, the inner conflict, and his idealism could not protect him. No matter how much he tried to justify his ways to people, to the crowd, to the people of Rome, and nothing could save him. And honor survives. Yes, the first important point here is Battle of Philippi, as predicted by Caesar's ghost. Two battles are fought here. Strategy fails. Fate turns against conspirators. Yes, we see two battles were fought. Somewhere the conspirators begin to lose one after the other. They start getting defeated by the enemies, especially the party of Mark Antony. Fate turns against conspirators. Yes, fate does not favor them. Rather, the conspirators begin to finally lose. Then the next important point, that is event that happens here, is death of Cassius. See what happens. This is very important. See, this is very ironical thing. When Cassius sent his comrade Titinius to go and report him about the battlefield, and while he goes, Pindarus, one of his servants, comes and misinterprets him. He gives him report that Titinius is captured. So Cassius, on hearing this, completely feels hopeless. He's in despair. He feels shattered, and then he commits suicide. He asks Pindarus to hold his sword and kill him. So the irony of this death of Cassius, is he dies on the exact day when Caesar was born. He dies on Caesar's birthday. And not just this, he also dies with the same dagger, the same sword that he used to kill Caesar. So this is very ironical. Then the next important point is death of Brutus. Brutus, the last man, the tragic hero of the play, he also dies. When he sees this, somewhere their defeat is certain. He realizes that their defeat is certain. So instead of being arrested, being captured, and feel humiliated by the enemies, he chooses honor over arrest, over capture. He thinks that instead of being humiliated by the enemies, it is better that he should commit suicide. And then he kills himself. He asks his servant Strato. I think you know the name. See, because you might be asked about who was the man who was holding his sword, and then Brutus killed himself. So Strato was the servant who hold his sword. The important line, or the final words of Brutus before he committed suicide, were, "Caesar, now be still. I kill not thee with half so good a will." That means again he sees his ghost, maybe as predicted by Caesar, that they will meet at Philippi. And in the Battle of Philippi, Brutus dies, and again he remembers Caesar, his best friend, and feels completely shattered too. So this is very important and very emotional line. And last, Antony's tribute to Brutus. When Antony comes to know about Brutus' suicide, he calls him the noblest Roman of them all. And this is how he pays tribute to Brutus. Brutus alone acted for Rome's good. Yes, this is important here. We have to keep in mind that it was Brutus alone who accepted his mistake. And finally, he tries to, with the last words, I killed not thee with half so good a will. Somewhere he was trying to justify his ways, or tell Caesar's ghost that he did not do anything for his personal gain, but he accepts his mistake. Antony pays tribute to him and calls him the noblest of all. But Brutus alone, see, it was only Brutus who acted for Romans. He did not have any personal cause, any personal enmity with, rather he was a friend of Caesar. When he was manipulated by Cassius, he thought that yes, it might be very dangerous for the people of Rome if Caesar became a king. Because he thought that, because the way the picture was shown to Brutus by the conspirators was somewhere that Julius Caesar is getting very ambitious, and his over-ambitious will bring tyranny to the people of Rome. So he was acting all for the Rome's good. So significance of this act is that it confirms Brutus as a tragic hero. Yes, we see the doom of our tragic hero Brutus, and his tragic flaw. You must remember, his tragic flaw was he was too idealistic. Right, now let us move on to character-based quick notes, which is very important, because these points I have especially designed for. I have just picked for you people, which if you use in your answers, you can easily write a very good character. Let's start with Brutus. He's too idealistic, very honorable, and this is the reason he chose suicide, death over. He chooses honor over humiliation, and that's why he commits suicide. But he's politically a naive and a tragic hero. Antony, Yes, he is another very powerful character. You might be asked to compare and contrast the two characters. So about Antony, you will write he is very intelligent, manipulative, and a powerful orator. Yes, it is the power of rhetoric. We have seen the theme, the important theme of the play is power of rhetoric. How important the words play in this whole drama. Then Cassius, who is practical, very practical, manipulative, but emotionally is very weak, and that's why he is consumed by guilt and then emotionally feels strained. The common themes of the play we have already discussed: power of rhetoric, idealism versus practicality, friendship versus betrayal, fate versus supernatural, and then honor. I hope these points will be very helpful to you. I just wish that you focus on all the points, note them down. This may be a very last minute revision, but I'm sure that it will be very helpful to you. See you in the next video. Till then, take care and bye bye, and all the best for your exams.